Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. I'm your girl, Divina, and I am so grateful that you decided to tune into this week's episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. Before we get into this episode and I introduce my divine guest, you know I have to share some announcements with you. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Divinely Crown on Spotify and Apple Music. Also, make sure you are subscribed to Divinely Crown and following us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You know, I've been telling you guys for the last few weeks that the website is under construction. And your girl, it's my own fault, okay, y'all? So bear with me. It should be up soon, okay? But you can still go on there and subscribe so that you're one of the first people to know when I launch. If you don't know by now, we are getting ready to have our big end of the year event. I am partnering with Rabbit 3. We had Andre Jones on here in our previous episode, and we're having the Royal Affair event that is taking place in literally just 2 weeks, guys. On December 9th at 1020 Collective. Tickets are still on sale at eventbrite.com. So if you are looking to end the year with, some positive vibes after everything that has gone on this year, come out, get your royal colors of purple or gold ready, and just come have a good time. We're so excited. We've been putting our all into this event. And if you know you've been to any of our other events, you know that we love to put on a good event for our city. So come out and enjoy it with us. Speaking of our event, definitely got to shout out some of my sponsors. We have Radius Co-working Space, which this is where I record. So if you're watching this live, you see us in the studio. Radius Co-working Space is a community for freelancers, entrepreneurs, and remote workers in the heart of downtown Erie. They provide a space for people to share tools, knowledge, and encouragement with one another. Like I've said, I love being here. I love connecting with other entrepreneurs. If you are an entrepreneur, somebody that works from home, or just looking for community, this is definitely a good place to be. So check out their website. I put at the bottom of the screen, and look at their membership fees. They have like a day membership, or you can even do monthly memberships. So check them out. Also got to shout out Easter Daycare. They are a daycare facility here in Erie that provides a nurturing space for your children to grow and learn. I know right now they are taking new children for third shift, and they're also looking for employees. So if you are interested in connecting with them and you have a heart for children, definitely reach out to them. I also have to shout out another one of our divine sponsors, which is Handle with Care. They're another daycare in the heart of downtown Erie. That is one of our big sponsors. So we want to shout them out and say thank you for your support as well. Before I introduce my divine guest, don't forget, get in the comments. We love to talk. We love when you get in the comments and join the conversation. So tonight, make sure you do that. I know it's Thanksgiving Eve, which Dana and I, which I'll let her introduce herself in a minute. We're like, what were we thinking the night before? But hopefully we have some people on here watching while you're cooking and getting ready to enjoy your family time. And before, we already got a comment. We have Jacqueline. She said, Dana D with the hearts. But yes, so go ahead. You just real quick introduce yourself to the people, because we will get into more deep conversation in a minute. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Dana Dickerson. I'm a realtor here in Erie, PA with Agresti Real Estate. I own long-term and short-term rentals, and I'm a mother of 4.
Mother have 4. Shout out the babies. Here, I'm gonna move your mic closer so you don't gotta be leaning. All right, hold on. We got sis in the car. Hey, sis, she said we always going to show up for Dana. Trust me, and we're going to talk about that tonight, Gianna. Shout out to you for being in the comments. And she also said best mother. I love it.
Thank you, G.
Yeah, so I always like to share how I know my guests, if I do know them or connected in some way. And I was just telling Dana before we got on, I'm like, I think we officially finally met this year in person. Yep. We were at Erie's Black Wall Street's Women Empowerment Brunch. I don't know if that's the exact name, but that's when I first officially met you in person. But we've been Facebook friends for like maybe a few years now.
Wow, no,
yeah. So, and I was like, okay, I got to get Dana on here because you be doing your thing, which we'll get into tonight. But I'm like, I definitely want to highlight you and, hear about your journey. Like she said, she is in real estate, which I think is so dope when it comes to women, and especially in Erie. So we're going to talk about that. But before we even get to that, because, that's your current journey, right, we always like to take it back to the beginning. So Divinely Crowned Conversations is all about having real, honest, open, transparent conversations where we're from, where we're at, and where we're going. So I always like to take it back to the beginning. So tell me about young Dana.
Young Dana.
Young Dana.
I was definitely a handful growing up.
Okay.
I was very rebellious. Strong-willed, hard-headed. Anytime I was told no, I just didn't want to hear it. So it was rough on my mom. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. So are you the oldest? Youngest?
I am the oldest. Okay. That was in the household.
Okay. So out of how many in the household?
So my mom has 3 children.
Okay.
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
And then my father has 4 children.
Okay.
And I'm right in the middle. So
so that's like double. So you get like, you definitely were rebellious. Because like the oldest, I feel like they're the ones that are like, okay, we're gonna figure this thing out. But then you have the middle, which I'm a middle child, so it's like you got to find your place somewhere. So you're trying to find it all. So like with you saying you were you wanted to do your own thing. So like tell me like a little bit more about what you were like growing up. Were you like how did you being that way kind of help you or shape you as a young woman?
So my mom, she was into like ballerina and all that good stuff. So I think growing up she thought I was going to be that, and I was more of a tomboy.
Okay.
So I was softball, like more of those sports. So I'll never forget, she took me to like a baton class and I absolutely hated it. I hated the leotard. I was like
this
not
ain't
doing this. So that ended quickly.
Oh my gosh. Did any of your other siblings, I know you have Gianna.
Yeah, so my little sister, she took on it all. Gymnastics, cheerleading, ballet, hip hop dancing.
Oh my goodness.
She's still a cheerleading coach to this day. So.
And look, she in the comments, Jacqueline, I don't know what you put because it's like giving me a line, but you must have put an emoji that I can't see. So I'm sorry, but I did put your thing up there. Gianna says strong-minded and strong-willed Gianna. Yes. Okay. Oh, she's saying that Gina.
Gina is my mom.
Okay, yep. Gina. I'm like, wait, no. I'm like, wait, that's wrong. Okay. So where does Gianna fall in there?
So we are all 7 years apart.
7 years
I'm the oldest.
Apart.
Gianna's 7 years younger, and then my little brother is 7 years younger.
So you were the only child for 7 years?
Yes.
How was that journey of now introducing another?
I at the beginning I didn't care for it, but as my sister got older, I was more like nurturing and made sure her hair was combed and her face was clean and all that good stuff. So
I love it. So how did that? So you said you were like a tomboy growing up, which clearly, I mean, you're in real estate now. You're tearing up houses and things like that. So did that kind of carry through all of your youth to college, high school?
So it's crazy because I've always been a very hands-on individual. So I love anything hands-on, whether it's doing hair, anything, tearing up a house, painting.
Yeah.
I'm
so where did that come from? Do you know? Or
I have no idea.
Just it kind of, you were like, no, this is what I want to do, and I like it.
Yeah.
So you played softball. Any other like activities you did? Anything?
Nope, just pretty
No?
much softball
Softball, and
growing
you
up.
did that like all through.
Probably like I want to say maybe like 10 all the way up into high school.
Okay. So are you born and raised in Erie?
Born and raised in Erie. I grew up on the east side of Mill Creek.
Okay.
So I went to McDowell.
Yes. Okay.
All that good stuff.
Because you're biracial.
Yes.
Okay.
My mom is Italian. My dad's Black.
Okay. All right. I have, they're in the comments already. Mike Mack, he said, LOL, tell us more. And then Gianna said she also is amazing at art and all things art. So tell me about that. Look, get in the comments, sis, because we're going to break her open real quick.
Yeah, so I love art.
Yes.
I draw,
Okay.
you know, I'm really good at drawing. My mom has a ton of my drawings in her office on the wall.
Oh, so
they
you're
laminated them.
Okay. Yeah, so since you were young, you did
since
that?
Since I was young, I was just anything had to do with my hands. I loved it.
Okay. Which now has created who you are today. So like, did you ever like, okay, young women, you know, we go through our own journeys of stuff, and you even saying you were a tomboy, like I can just remember I was a tomboy. Obviously I was very insecure. I tell that journey all the time, but like, is there anything that like you feel has shaped you from being this way growing up till now?
So I feel like going to honestly a predominantly white school and being one of the only Black people, I always had to be tougher, and I couldn't show as much emotion. So it actually helped me out in the long run because in the field today, you don't see many Black people as realtors. So I can walk in that room and I can be comfortable. And I can sit down and a lot of people would feel intimidated or don't want to go because nobody like you looks like you is there. But I'm more than happy to go. And
like she said, this is me. I love it. So yeah, you and you, I know I've had a few women that are biracial, and just even that journey, which I didn't even realize maybe the adversities you might have faced being biracial, and you saying like you were in a predominantly white like community or school. And so like, how did that maybe with your identity, like how did that play out?
Like I said, I've always been super strong-willed and very headstrong. So I've never been insecure. So it didn't do anything to me. You know? But I will say that I wanted to like get to know my other side of my family more, and I wanted to be, with them. Just so I could feel a little more comfortable. And it was rough. But
listen, and I can imagine. Look at you okay, Jacqueline. She said Dana of all trades. She said she does it all and one of the realest people out here, which I do see that, which I want to get into. And then she said, you better tell her. That's your sister who said that.
Yeah, Jackie. So Jackie is a really good friend of mine. I met her through my brother.
Okay.
And she does all the cleaning for all the Airbnbs.
Okay.
She does all the property maintenance for me. So she's a really big help.
Shout out to Jackie. Okay. So let's talk about it, because like I said, I feel like, even you saying, how you've been strong-willed and how now, like what you've been through as far as like, just, being the person that had to kind of, you stood out.
Yes.
So now as a Black woman who is in real estate, which I don't know how many Black women in our city we have that are.
I probably can name on one hand.
Okay. So tell me, like, even getting into that journey, like, how did you even start that? I remember growing up, I will say this, I remember growing up, my mom and dad always talked about how like, get into real estate, like this and that. And I never did, which I'm still kind of interested, but like, take me through that journey as a Black woman, from a Black woman's perspective in Erie.
Okay. So to be honest, real estate was not even on my radar.
Okay.
Growing up. Never. So, like I said, I was very rebellious growing up, and I got in a lot of trouble, and I did some things I shouldn't have. I was involved with the courts, and it was rough.
You was out here saying no.
I was out here in these streets.
She's in the streets. We're gonna have to come back to that. Not, I mean, a little bit. I just want to go ahead. Tell your story.
So I ended up getting pregnant with my son.
Okay.
After I graduated from high school, and I moved out of town with his dad, and I absolutely hated it. It was just too country. I was missing home. It was bad.
Where'd you move?
I moved to Lancaster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a little country out there.
It was bad. So I was like, I can't do this. Came back home. Tried to come back to my mom's house, and she basically was just like, "You're pregnant. You got to figure it out." So
how old were you at the time?
I was 18.
Okay. Well, mom said 18, you out.
Yeah.
Get you.
Plus, I took her through so much, through the high school years. So, I had a couple of my friends, we decided to get an apartment together.
Okay.
And I had my son, and about a month after he was born, I signed up for housing, and I got approved for a 2-bedroom apartment in the Terrace.
Okay.
So I was super excited. Grabbed all my belongings. I really didn't have much, but me and my son moved into this apartment. I think I had a blow-up bed. I want to say a rocking chair and maybe a kitchen table.
Okay.
Listen, we didn't have
thugging
much, but
out.
I was like, I'm gonna thug it out.
Yeah.
So like I said, I got into legal trouble, and I was doing things I shouldn't have. And fast forward to when I had my second son, I decided, I wasn't gonna follow that path anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So that was not for me. So I got a serving job at Cheddar's.
Okay.
And
so what was the span between your first child and your second?
6 years.
6 years. Okay.
Yeah. So I lived in the Terrace for 6 years, pretty much did the same thing the whole 6 years.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out different career paths. I went to school for health information technician. I'm like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. Yes. I tried the in-home, nursing where you go to the house and take care of them. Not for me.
And I always say it does take a special person to do those.
Right. So all these things I was trying because I was really motivated to make it happen for my son, and it just, I knew they weren't for me.
Yeah.
You know? So after I had my second son, I got a job at Cheddar's. That was my first serving job ever, and I loved it.
Nice.
So throughout the time I worked there, I would just save up money. Obviously your rent was based on your income back. Well, it still is if you live there. But long story short, I was able to save up enough money to buy my first property.
Okay.
So my son was about, I want to say 7, and my other son was just getting ready to turn 1. And I decided that I needed to buy some property. I was ready to get out of there. 2-bedroom apartment. It was, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So, I bought my first house.
Okay.
So,
and I want to put a pin in there because I definitely want to come back to that journey real quick. But I do want to go back because you did say first of all, I would never tell you were like in some legal trouble, all the things. Do you want to share that journey?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I have no problem sharing it.
Hold on. Let me go all the way back here. Okay. Gianna, next time we're gonna have you sitting right next to your sister. She just asked me too. She's like, have you ever had a group? I was like, no, not yet, but we're gonna get you on here next time with her. She said, out here. Then she said, tell the folks. Oh, she about to tell us. I have Adele. She put cheering in a heart. I have Gianna. She said, got through the mud. And then I have Dejan. Damn, I'm on the road. I want to watch later. Ladies inform and expose the people. Thank you. So take me through that journey, real, if you can, because first of all, that's a powerful thing to overcome as a young Black woman, young mom, been in legal trouble, things like that from a young age. So, and you said, listen, after you had your second child, 7 years. Y'all, that's your lucky number, ain't
Right?
it? Almost 7 years apart. So like, tell me about that.
So like I said, I was living in the terrace. I knew I had to do whatever I could to take care of my son. And obviously that came with bad decisions. So I was selling pills.
Okay.
And
so you've been a hustler. Dana been a hustler. Okay.
I was.
Shifted it.
So I was selling pills, and one of the guys came and called, and he asked for a couple, and I gave it to him. And maybe like a month later, they came knocking on my door. And
a month later.
Came and got me. They rounded up like 38 people, I want to say.
Okay.
Yep.
So you were you went to jail?
So they came and picked us all up, basically like took our fingerprints, gave us our charges, and sent everybody home.
So what was that like for you?
I was scared. I didn't want, obviously, my son to find out. Even more so his dad. I didn't want him to call and be like, well, he can come move down here with me, you know? So, like I said, after that situation, I was like, I got to get it together. You know, I can't keep doing this. You know, they're depending on me. So that's when I decided to take the job as a server and start from there.
So first of all, I feel like it does take, I mean, I always think it's interesting when women sell and things like that, because you don't see that. But that, I feel like that took a lot of confidence to do something like that too. But like, what did that, I guess, teach you about yourself? Or what did that teach you? What did you learn about yourself, if anything, in those moments?
Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever you put your mind to, whether it's good or bad. You know, if you're determined enough to get it done, it can be done.
So I want to ask you this then. What would you, because I feel like nowadays our young women are like way different. What would you tell a young woman that may be in the position that you were in at that time? Like, what would you tell her that you wish you would have knew, wish somebody would have told you? I mean, I know you said you put your mom through the ringer, which I know we put our parents, but like, what would you tell her? Maybe she's at the, like, I'm just trying to do by any means necessary for my child. And we're going back to like obviously 18, or we're at that age, like, and what we would tell those young women.
I would just say, don't be ashamed, you know, get the help that you need. Take that, you know, housing authority apartment and use it as a stepping stone to get you where you need to be in life.
Yeah.
You know, ask for help. Just don't be afraid. And never give up. Don't quit.
Yeah. And I like how you even said like, don't be like ashamed to take that housing, which some people like, yes, I got housing. And then other people feel like, you know, that's like a failure or something like that. But like you said, it's a stepping stone. Like, I always be like, I remember when I first moved back with my parents, I'm like, oh my God, like I failed. Like I got 2 kids and I'm moving back. But it's like, no, it's a stepping stone. It gets you to the next level. So for you to even say that, I just think, and I think also in this day and age where social media glamorizes everything and you got to have everything right away, it's like, no, use that for, you know, the next step of your life.
Right. Because I mean, like my mom always says, Rome wasn't built in a day. So you mean, you got to take baby steps.
Yeah.
Like if I would have never took baby steps, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I have Gina. Is this mama?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Hi, mama. She said, love you, Dana. So.
Love you too, mom.
So I have a question. So, because I like to do this from time to time. Mama's on. You said, you know, you had this journey. Is there anything you want to personally say to mama?
Thank you for always being there for me.
Yes. Hey, period. Thank you, mama.
She's a big help to my kids. You know, she makes sure they all have book bags every year and they get to gymnastics and football and wrestling and Christmas gifts and all that.
So how important is, because I know you say, I mean, I see on social media, like you always have your family pictures and things like that. Like how important is your support system or just your tribe? Because it seems like you have a pretty tight knit, even just friendships. You have pretty close friendships and relationships. Like, how important is that as you're on your journey as well?
It's super important. So my circle is very small. Even like my everyday family, I have a ton of family, but like the people that I talk to every single day and I'm around every single day would be like my mom, my sister, my brother, my stepdad. You know, obviously I have Jackie, Lacara, like they're not, it's 10 people or under. That's my circle.
Listen.
So but I can call each and every one of them, you know, I need help with this, I need help with that.
Yeah.
And they're always there for me.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm huge in, like, I always am vocal about like finding your tribe or creating your tribe or and things like that, because I do feel like even as adults, like they always say adults need a village too. And I'm like, that's so true. Like you said, your mom like buys your children book bags every year. She takes them to gymnastics. It's like that is so important as we're growing. You're an entrepreneur, you're running in a business, and I feel like that's needed. A community is needed. I have Gianna. She said Gina is the GOAT.
Yeah. So my mom still takes care of everything. We're just gonna put it like that.
Listen,
everything.
Listen.
So
and that is a blessing to have that. I feel like I was even talking. I was saying like in this generation, it's like people don't realize how important it's still to have parents who are supportive. Like, you don't have to do everything alone. Like, that is not a flex. You know what I mean? So to be able to say, like, I have that support, my mom who's like, listen, I got you all the time. Like, that's a special thing too, because I don't think a lot of people have that. So,
well, that's another thing I want to bring up as well. Like in the beginning, you know, when I first, like I said, I came back and I had to go do my own thing because she wasn't having it. You know, it was like that pushed me even harder to be who I am today, because I was trying to prove, you know, that I could do it on my own and I didn't need any help. So still to this day, you know, she's always like, do you need anything? I'm like, nope, I'm good. You know, like if you want to help, you know, she does help with the kids and all that good stuff. But I definitely feel like that was 100% a part of my journey. And if I wouldn't have went through that specific situation, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
So
sometimes we gotta go through that pain to get to the good stuff.
Definitely.
And you saying that you like, because some like how you said like you were trying to prove. Do you feel like that was like negatively thought? Because you know how like I asked that because it's like I know sometimes we're like people are like, you don't gotta prove to no one nothing, but like you're saying like I was trying to prove to my mom, probably to yourself, like I got this. But like how did that affect you in any way, if at all?
It really didn't affect me. I kind of feel like I had that mindset my whole life from a child.
Yeah.
If I set my mind to it, it's going to get done.
So
I just wanted to show my son, you know, that anything you put your mind to, it can be done.
Yeah.
Never give up. If it doesn't work out, figure it out. Try a different way. Like just never give up though.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I have Jackie. Y'all just in the comments. I love it so much. She said, and Dana always there for us whenever. I love it. So how important do you feel like, going even back to the support system, for somebody who might not have the support system and you know, what advice would you give them?
My first advice would probably be try to find a mentor. Reach out to, there's a bunch of actually groups on social media now. On Facebook, there's like a mom's group and even friends, you know, find those right friends for you and hold them tight and you help each other out.
Yeah.
So don't ever feel like you don't have anybody.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Gianna, one thing about Dana, she will do it regardless of the day, of the week, or time, even if it means ripping out her kitchen floor at 2 a.m. Yeah, you posted pictures about this. So obviously you went from, I bought my own first house.
Mm-hmm.
You got into doing, obviously, what is it called? Home repairs through that.
Yes.
When did you start just figuring out that, like, oh, I want to do this with other houses?
So when I bought my first house, it was an absolute mess. Everybody thought I was crazy. I paid $10,000 for it. Ceiling was missing. People were stubbing their toes, getting splinters on the floor. It was bad. So, but I had the vision. I'm like, I'm going to make this mine, you know? So,
that's that art background.
Yeah, I moved in. Me and my 2 sons moved in, and I just started YouTubing everything, like how to put together a kitchen cabinet, how to put on a countertop. So it was a whole bunch of trial and error in that house. I will say, if I go back and look at that house today, I'll probably be like, "What the heck was?"
I was gonna say, do you still have that?
No. So, I stayed in it for about 3 years.
Okay.
And my son was, I want to say, 3rd grade, 4th grade. And the Erie school district was just not for him. And I made a vow that we were going to get out to Mill Creek.
Yeah.
So I sold it, and I actually sold it for $40,000 more than what I paid for it.
It's a come up. That's that hustling.
Right. And we moved to Mill Creek.
So. Okay. And then, so from there, you bought another house. And
yeah, well, why I lived there, so obviously, you know, if you are a single mother and you're in a certain tax bracket, when you file taxes every year, you do get a nice lump sum back. I think it's like 20 to 40 or I'm not 100% sure. But every year when I filed taxes, I would get a nice return and I would just buy another house.
Yeah. Wow.
So I knew that after I fixed that house up, that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I just loved it. And then it's so gratifying just watching it, your vision come to light.
Yes.
So probably about a year after I bought that one, I bought another one. And I fixed it up and I moved a tenant in there.
Okay.
So I would say about every year after I bought a property.
So how many years has it been?
About 10 years.
Go ahead, sis. First of all, that's amazing. So wow. I have Mama, she said, so proud. And then Gianna said, drop the knowledge. I love it. So, okay, 1 property a year for the last 10 years. So you have all of them now that like you're renting or?
So out of all of them, I only sold 1. I will say that I had a tenant in there that really stressed me out and I could not physically deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
And I just sold it with her in it and everything.
Like she said, you get you and the tenant, no refunds.
But out of all those, that's the only one I sold. So.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have, hold on. Listen, y'all in the comments. I love it. Adele said, hear all great things about Dana. So Adele, do you know Adele? So Adele works at the credit union. So I want Erie Federal Credit Union.
Yes.
So I was like, I think she
did a deal with Adele.
That's why she knows you. So I used to work at the credit union.
Okay.
So that's why I know Adele too. I'm like, I think she must know her from
that.
Well,
Adele was amazing. She got us closed in like 30 days.
Yes.
My buyer's happily living in her house.
Nice. So. That's my girl, Adele. Shout out. Put your party hat on, Adele. We always say, shoot, sometimes when we're like, because we're both very upbeat people, and she's like, sometimes we don't always have to wear your party hat. So I gotta shout out Adele, because girl, my party hat been slipping, baby. Gianna, she said, when she said drop the knowledge, she said from assistant housing to fixer upper to Mill Creek to luxury house in Mill Creek. So proud. That's a big step. Yes, that is, like she just said, from assistant housing to now a luxury house in Mill Creek. And for those, not everybody who listen, because we worldwide, okay? So not everybody knows what Mill Creek is, but Mill Creek pretty much is the suburbs of Erie, Pennsylvania. So when she says that is a huge thing to be able to say, like, I went from housing in the projects to now a luxury home, because I didn't stop, because I was determined to prove that I could do this. I was determined to show, at the time, your 2 children, now you have 4.
Yep, I have 4.
So, and we're gonna get into the mama life too. But that's a powerful thing. So like, do you ever sit back even and like look at the work you've done, or like take that all in?
I do, but I have so much more work to do. I'm not done
Oh,
yet.
don't get me started on that. We ain't finna have no coaching session. Yes, you do. But that don't matter. We always have more work.
Right. But I definitely take it in, and I definitely am proud of myself for what I've accomplished. So basically I'm in the stage where I'm ready to give back, and I want to teach people what to look for when you're buying a house. I want to teach first-time home buyers that you don't have to have $20,000 to buy a house. You don't have to have the best credit score. So I guess that's the stage I'm in my life right now, where I just want to show other people how to do it and show that it can be done.
Yeah. So. And I think that's a powerful thing to say after I've learned. You know, I'm sure you've made mistakes. You've had you said the first house was like, oh my God. So, but learning all that and then being open to or willing to be like, but now it's time for me to give back, because especially in our community, like we need that. Like, definitely. More. I've seen you've been crushing your goals with just even selling houses, and it looks like you sell to a lot of women. So
I have a lot of my sellers are either first-time home buyers that are women that look like me, or I have a bunch of out-of-town investors.
Okay.
That I can kind of give them the eye and tell them this is a good buy or this isn't a good buy. And kind of lead them in the right direction. So after they buy, they'll be comfortable with receiving rent, because a lot of my investors are in California.
Okay, sis.
They're far.
That's what's up.
Maryland, Florida.
Okay.
So they're all over the place. But
so I don't know if you can share this, but like, how have you gotten connected with those type of people? Is it just like social media, or I don't know that world,
social media. One of my investors found me on a Facebook group.
Okay.
Erie, PA Real Estate Investors, I want to say. And he reached out to me, and he's on his 3rd property.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I have another one in Florida that I think I had a listing for sale, and he was interested in it. That didn't work out. Yeah. But I held on to him, and he's on his 3rd as well.
Oh.
So
you better go now. I've always been intrigued. You know, I am not a huge test taker. Okay. I'm actually getting certified right now for what I do. But like, that's always been my biggest, like, I heard the test is like, and I don't got time. My brain, I don't got time.
It's not bad. So I took my realtor classes at the CE shop.
What's that?
It's just an online real estate course. It's called theceshop.com.
Okay.
And you go on there, you click Pennsylvania, 75-hour exam or course, and you just go through everything. Okay. When you get to the end, it's just repetition. They make you take the test like 10 times.
Oh,
10 times in each category.
Before you take official test.
Correct.
Okay.
So by the time you get to the official test, it's literally drilled in your head.
You. Okay. And you have to pay for that.
Yeah.
You pay for the class.
At the end of the CE shop course, you take a test just to show that you retained everything you knew. That's $25.
Okay.
Then after you pass that, that's when you go sign up to take the state exam and the national exam. I want to say that's $50.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. So all in all, I think I paid $450 for my courses.
That's not bad.
And I paid I failed the test the first time, so I had to retake it. So I paid about $125 for the test total. So all in all, I was like $600 in.
See, that's less than some of these like college.
Right.
And you're still you're making some good money with this. Hold on. Look. I can't keep up. Next, I need to have somebody on the side. I have Risa. She said, that's dope. I believe that was when we were talking about the houses and how many you had. She said, not with her in it. Oh, she was talking about when you sold the
Oh, with her.
And then Jackie said millions in sales. Have you done millions in sales?
Yeah, so this year I'm just about 3.5 million. My goal was 4. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
I have Adele. She put the party hats. She said, "We'll finish watching later. Happy Thanksgiving." Thank you for watching, Adele. And then Gianna said, "Dropping gems." Yes, she is dropping gems. And then Risa said, "Congratulations." So, wow, there's a lot to pull out of there. There's a lot to pull out there. So I do want to talk more about, I would say, this is not a business podcast, but I honestly don't even consider this like business talk. It's just a way of life. It's it's opening our minds, because
Definitely.
I have seen you even post like I'll train you, or like you were going to take some people under your wing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you tell somebody who maybe is looking for an out, and wants to get into this, or like, what would you tell anybody that wants to get into this field?
Well, even after all those years of buying houses, I was not interested in getting my real estate license. So I've been.
Oh, wait. So you were buying and still weren't even a realtor?
Correct.
So you were buying the houses, flipping them, and selling them.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a realtor?
I did.
Okay.
John Easter. You know John Easter?
Yes, I do. Yep. Yes, that's actually my kid's family.
Okay,
so yes,
he's my favorite. He's my favorite all the time. He rocked with me from day one.
Okay.
Yep. So 2013 all the way till probably 2020.
Okay. Shout out to John Easter.
Yep. Shout out to John. But and congratulations, he just got married too.
Congratulations. I love it.
But yeah, so I think one of my good friends was like, what are you doing? Why don't you have your real estate license? And I'm like, good point. I don't know. Maybe I should go for it.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I didn't even contemplate on getting my real estate license until 2021.
Oh, that was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I served at Cheddar's and Olive Garden for 10 years.
And then flipped houses. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Woo! Yeah. So 2021, I bought the house that I'm currently in.
Okay.
And I just said, you know what? I'm going to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I bought the house January 6th, 21. And I had my real estate license by June of 21.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So
she was not, listen. It's a hustler spirit. I already feel like I know the caption or your title, but you'll be surprised when this comes out. Okay. But wow. So go ahead.
But I just want to let everybody know, you can have multiple hats. Don't think that you have to be confined to one thing. Mm-hmm. So even if you do get your real estate license, you can work a full-time 9-to-5 job, and do that on the side. Mm-hmm. I worked at Olive Garden probably for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Still, while I had my license, until I actually built myself up and didn't need that income anymore. Mm-hmm. But multiple streams of income. I mean, it's just the way to go.
Yes.
And another thing I wanted to bring up is a lot of people are so caught in the system. Like, you don't want to make too much money because you don't want to lose your food stamps. You don't want to go over this because you're going to lose that. Mm-hmm. But it gets so much greater later when you exceed that and don't need the help anymore. Yeah. It's like the sky's the limit. Yeah. So I was one of those people, and I was kind of caught in that cycle. Like I said, when I moved in to the terrace, and I was there for 6 years, and I'm like, oh, if I start working full time, my rent's gonna go up. I don't want to do that. So it's like you're almost trapped in this mindset that you can't expand because you don't want to lose the benefits.
Which is crazy because they're there because we aren't making that. And it's like, why aren't we proud to say, I don't no longer need this? I mean, don't get me wrong. We love us some good stamps. Okay. Right. But to say like, wow, like, look how far I've come. Just like you went from assistant living to now, not assistant living, because assistance with your living to now this. And it's like, you're able to say like, look how far I've come. Look what I've accomplished. And just somebody got some stamps for me to buy if I need it. But
but I definitely try to drill that into all my friends. Like, come on, you can do it. Like, I try to lift them up, empower them. Yeah. Let's push past this and just see how far you can go. So
No, I think that's really that's dropping gems when you say that, because it is, even like you saying, like, it's okay to have multiple streams of income. Like when you were like, you said, I worked a year and a half still after you were doing your real estate, like, even that journey, like being able to say, I no longer need to do this, like,
Right.
was that like a, oh my gosh, am I gonna make it? Like, or like, what was
I was
that
so
feeling?
sad.
Were you?
So I built such great relationships with everybody. I was at Olive Garden, I think 8 years.
Okay.
I've got some really good friends out of that group. And it was just more like I didn't even need to go in for the money anymore. I just wanted to go and say hi to my friends and,
Yeah.
have a good day and talk about our personal life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I definitely missed that a lot.
I love it.
But it was time. It was time for me to go. And I used to bring my computer to work, and I'm serving soup and salad and running back over to the computer trying to write up offers. And it was just it was too much.
Yeah.
So,
but that, for even you to be able to say that, like, you were right, like, I had to like make time for your now permanent job, which is real estate, in 2 years. I feel I'm still learning the real estate world, so I'm like, because it's not like a corporate job, right? It's on your own, like, you're an entrepreneur. So
definitely.
So even I used to always be like, okay, like, how can you, like, what if right now, right? Well, like, in the last few years, the market's been different and things like that. Like, has that ever like scared you?
Yeah, it scares me all the time. Right now I don't have any deals going on. I mean, I have a few, but it's nothing crazy that's gonna pay my bills for this month. But that's where I kind of rely on the rental income.
Okay.
Just recently, I would say 2022, I got into Airbnbs. So, as long as you keep it nice, you take good pictures, you really advertise good for yourself, they tend to stay booked.
Okay.
So
Now, even speaking of Airbnbs, I just saw somebody was like, is that even a good thing to invest in anymore? Do you think?
Oh, 100%. During the summer months, the Airbnbs are completely booked from May until September. It does kind of slow down November, December, January, February, March. But even though still people are booking for Thanksgiving, people are booking for Christmas, people are booking for New Year's. People come up here to see their kids in college. There's actually a ton of people that come up for fishing, and they're looking for places to park their boat. So I mean, it's hit or miss.
Hit or miss.
But at the end of the day, it's more income that you would have had. I mean, it's more income that you have now. You wouldn't have had it if you didn't do it. So even if it's empty for 2 weeks,
it's still, there's still something eventually coming. Hold on, I have your sister. She said, serving soup and salad and writing offer letters. Do you hear her, boss? I don't know your voice yet, but I can hear your voice, and she is probably screaming at the screen right now, talking. I can feel it, Gianna. Oh my goodness. So speaking of boats, I do want to talk about that. You have a boat.
I do have a boat.
That's like my dream. Yes. I always used to be like, I wanted a big boat and an RV. I used to watch the Travel Channel and be like, I want both of those. So tell me what it's like being, I'm gonna say, a Black woman, because you don't see that. So I always have to, like, give love to us sisters. But like, what is that experience like? And it might not be anything for you. You're just like, I got a boat, but like,
I mean, it's always been, I told you, I've always had a rebellious spirit, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna get me a boat.
You rebel.
So a friend of mine, well, I wouldn't say a friend, associate, she worked at Howard Hanna with me. She had posted she was selling her boat one day. And I'm like, I'm buying a boat. So
I'm on a boat.
I mean, that's a problem that I need to work on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, like, I see it and I want it. Like, I have no chill. But
I need to be like that. Shoot.
Well, that's why my sister's always like, you're a doer, and I'm not. Like, she calls me a doer, and she says she isn't, but She has a good job.
There you go.
But yeah, so she posted that she was selling her boat. I reached out to her. She said I could come down and test drive it. Mind you, I have no idea even what to even think of a boat, how to drive it, how to even turn it on. I know nothing about a boat. So her and her husband took me out on the water, showed me like how to reverse this and this and that. And I was like, I called my mom and my sister and I'm like, I'm buying a boat. Next day we went to Sue's Notary and I own a boat.
I love it.
And with that came so much trial and error, so much. I didn't know how to pull out of my slip because the boat's like parked down in the marina in the slip. I didn't know how to pull out of my slip. I didn't know how to pull in my slip. I didn't know how to throw my anchor out. Like I didn't know how to do anything.
So you just were like just going like you said trial and error.
Yeah, so I would like call the whole family like boat day. Everybody get down here. We're gonna figure it out.
Oh my!
So you should. It was pretty funny.
You should have vlogged that.
But I know, right?
Gianna on TikTok, she should have got on there. Where you at, sis?
But yeah, so I went through about the whole season, and then the engine blew. So the boat that I have has 2 engines in it. One of the engines blew. I was really bummed out. We pulled the boat out of the water, and it took them 2 years. 2 years to fix the engine.
2
Yeah.
years.
So my boat literally just got dropped back in the water June this year.
Oh my gosh. Why? Like what? They just was playing with
They had to rebuild the whole engine. I guess COVID and parts are hard to find. And then so we get the boat down by the water and I'm all excited for it to get back in. And the guy's like, your boots and bellows are bad. I'm like, what the hell is a boot and a bellow? Like another $1,000. So everybody always says like the best day of your life is the first day you buy the boat and the second day you sell the boat.
Did you sell the boat?
No, I have. Okay. But it's just a big money pit.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. It's just so relaxing. And, you know, you get out there and there's a boater's beach. I don't know if you ever been to.
No. I ain't never been on a boat.
Okay. I'm about to take you one day.
Yes. I'll go. Shoot. I'll bring the wine.
Right. But yeah, you go out through the channel, like by the pier.
Yeah.
And you go around and all the boats just tie up and they hang out all day. Listen to music, barbecue. It's a real good time.
Like that is literally one of my dreams is to have a dang boat. Maybe it's because we are on Lake Erie, so we know like, that's the vibe for the summer. So I when I see you post, I'm just like, I love that.
Yeah,
I love it. We got. Hold on, Gianna. She said, "Black woman who owns a boat." You hear me? And she got the classic.
Yeah, Gianna's my biggest cheerleader.
Listen, that in 7 years apart, that's because you was nurturing her when she was young. That's a good sister. She said Dana's determination is unmatched, truly one of a kind. I can tell, sis. Okay. She said, buy boats, motorcycles, houses. Listen, do you have a motorcycle too?
So back when I said I was going through that rough patch and I was in a lot of trouble, I had motorcycles too.
Oh, you was a rebel with a cause, sis. Okay.
Yeah,
listen, you're my kind of girl though, because I want that too. I'm like, I saw somebody was auctioning one off of the other day, and I was like, should I put some?
They're so much fun, but they're just so dangerous.
Like that part.
It's crazy how many motorcycle accidents you actually see. There was an agent in my office. She was driving home. I can't remember where she was coming from. She hit a deer on her motorcycle.
Yikes, that's like the same size as the motorcycle.
Yep. She was in the hospital for like a month, surgery after surgery. So after I was done with the motorcycle life, I was okay with it.
You're like, I got a boat now.
But I mean, I honestly, after I had my second son, I vowed to myself that I wasn't going to do anything illegal ever again. I was going to be on the straight and narrow. If I struggled, I was going to make it through, but I had to do what I had to do for them.
What you had to do. Did you ever find like it hard to kind of get away from that, your lifestyle? I know you said like, you know, you had made a vow, but was there ever times you're like, I could just go back? Like
never. I made that decision and I stood on that.
That's what's up.
You know, even though
stood on business. I like when people say, I'm standing on business.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely did. And all the people that were involved, like, we're still friends to this day, you know, they all tell me all the time how proud of,
I was gonna
you
ask
know, they
that.
are how far I've came, and so, I mean, it's just been a long, long, long journey,
Long
and I'm not
journey.
done yet, so.
Nah, but you've come far, and I feel like you are being an inspiration to a lot of women. I mean, I've seen women under your post, like, being interested, and I don't know how many of them actually kind of took heed and, like, really were like, okay, I'm all in, but, like, I've seen that. So I do want to ask though, and actually I was like, oh, I want to ask, like, because it seems like it's a male dominated world. I don't know if that's just here or in general. I don't know if you know if it's like but it does seem like flipping houses and also real estate is kind of more male dominated, would you
Yeah,
say?
it is, definitely. There really is no women that are out here flipping houses. Kershayla,
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
just met Kershayla, not met her, but I mean, we just kinda linked up, and she's actually doing one of the properties right now.
Okay.
So, I love it. You
Yeah.
know, I love it. She has her crew, she comes in, she gets it done. So, I'm definitely looking forward to linking up with her and,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, I see both of you back, and I've known Kershayla since high school, so I love seeing that, and I think that's a powerful thing to me, to be able to.
Well, it's hard too, though. So,
Mhm.
like, the contractors around here, it's
Mm.
horrible. You
Mhm.
know, you come back, still nothing done.
Mm.
Come back next week, they stole your supplies. Like,
Oh
it's
my
bad.
gosh.
And then I feel like because I'm a woman, they feel like they can do that to me because nothing I mean, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Um, so I kinda had to, like, draw a line and be like,
Mhm.
"Okay, I'm done."
Yeah.
I either get a good contractor that can come in here and do the work, or it's just not gonna happen.
Mhm.
So,
Is there anything like are these things that maybe that you could do on your own, or you just like, listen, I want you to.
yeah, I mean, I could get in there and get down there and get the work
Mhm.
done, but between real estate, being a mom,
Mhm. Mhm.
sports, you know, my own
Yeah.
sleep,
Yeah.
it's just too much for me.
Yeah. How do you find the balance in that as because entrepreneur, shoot, I'm asking for my dang self because I'm still learning the balance, okay? But like are you still learning the balance, or like how do you find the balance of doing all this as especially as a mom?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
Mhm.
Like Thursdays,
Mhm.
my daughter has gymnastics from 5 to 6.
Mm.
My son has wrestling 6 to 7:30. My other son has basketball 6 to 7:30,
Mm.
and then he has gymnastics 8 to 9:30. That's all on
Oh
Thursday.
my
So,
gosh.
like I said, their dad, like my kid's dad, he helps out so much, you
Mhm.
know, getting back and forth to where they need to
Mhm.
be. My mom helps out. Everybody kind of pitches in and helps.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also made sure that I purchased a house close to the school
Mhm.
just in case I wasn't able to help.
Yeah.
Like, you can walk.
Yeah, no,
You know?
legit. Listen, these little spoiled babies, get out and walk. Oh,
Right.
real quick,
So,
I have Rich. She also used to own a couple more. Oh, he said that from earlier. A couple motorcycles
yeah,
used to
I did have a
own.
couple. Mhm.
So yeah, so let's talk about mom life because you are that you. I just saw you put like a post about how like all you do is work. I think you said work, be a mom, and you're like
Stay in my
boring.
lane and
Yeah,
put my
stay in
board.
your lane
Yeah.
and stand on business. Okay. So like, what's mom life like?
Oh, crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It's crazy. 4 kids is crazy.
4 kids.
I
God
literally
bless you.
so they all missed the bus this morning, and, I'm dropping them. So my oldest, like I said, he goes to McDowell, he can
Mhm.
walk. I'm not
Mhm.
he can do his own thing,
Yeah.
he's grown. But, the 3 little ones, they all missed the bus this morning. I got them together, get to the school, and I hop out of the car, and I'm like, "Have a great day, love you," and I'm looking back like, I really got 3 kids in elementary school. I don't know what
Isn't
I
it
was
crazy
thinking.
when you do look like I be looking at my kids like y'all are my kids. Like it's
Yes, it's a lot.
crazy.
So, it's literally day by day.
Mhm.
I don't know what I'm cooking for dinner
Mhm.
tomorrow, the next day. I literally live my life day by day,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I just take him as it comes. I mean, even my oldest, he plays football. He's a really good football player. So right now they're in playoffs. So they
Okay.
play until they win.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, Friday, are they going to lose? Nope, they won. Now here we are again next Friday in the rain, and then it's like
in the rain. I don't miss
now I have to bundle the other kids up.
Yeah.
Because they got to come to the game too.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change it for anything. I don't want any more. I'm done.
Oh, God bless. Yes. I officially, like, I was like, for a while, I'm single. So I'm like, I always would say, like, I'm okay if I meet a guy and we get married this time. Like, well, but no, I'm gonna just listen. I don't want no more babies. They get older. Yeah, no. But come with someone, don't want none. Okay.
Well, I think the last one really took me out.
Yeah.
So I have a 5-year-old son.
Okay.
And he's crazy. I took him to the doctor. He got evaluated. He has ADHD.
Okay.
School calls every day.
Okay.
He can't keep his hands to himself.
Oh, baby boy.
He has a really hard time self-regulating. My sister is actually a speech therapist, and she deals with these children day in and day out. So she's always sending like weighted blankets and little chewy necklaces because he's always chewing on something. Yeah. She sends everything because she really tries to help, make my life a little bit easier with him. But it's a struggle. One little thing can throw his whole day off. And
yeah.
I guess I'm just happy and grateful that I have the time to spend. Because if I wouldn't have made the choices that I did, I could be working a 9 to 5, and when it's time to get on the bus, you have to go or I'm going to have to call off work,
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have the leniency in my schedule where I can be there, make sure they get to doctor's appointments and all that good stuff.
So I'm hearing you are saying, like, maybe this is a good avenue for forgot to bring this down, for mothers who may be looking for that freedom to
Definitely.
be able to. And I love that nowadays, because even for me, like having the flexibility, it's like, wow, like when they were younger, they were in daycare. I'm like trying to figure out how they're getting from daycare while I'm at work, and having that flexibility is a very nice thing. So, like, what would you? I have a few questions actually out of that whole just even motherhood. But let me get your sister's message.
Oh my goodness. Fiona, I need to go cut up some potatoes.
Listen, we almost done too. She said, advocates for her children, shows up for her children, and makes it happen. So a mother who may have a child who my son's he's border. Actually, we got him tested a few months ago for ADHD as well. But like, what advice could you give a mom who may be experiencing that? Maybe hasn't even got the diagnosis yet, but might be having those type of things happen.
So I feel like a lot of people throw a side eye when you say, like, I'm having my child evaluated, or ADHD is fake, or, everybody, we didn't have this 20, 30 years ago. But when you physically see your child, he can't sit still. He can't self-regulate. When he gets angry, he wants to break things. And, you have to just bite the bullet and figure out what you can do to help them.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like the longer you wait, the worse, more damaging it can be to your child. So I took him to the Achievement Center. As soon as I'm getting calls literally every day. I'm like, call their dad. Please just call their dad.
Listen, I can't do it.
I'm busy. Call their dad.
Yes.
But I mean, I was obviously joking.
No, for
but
sure. No, listen, sometimes it is call their dad.
They'd be like, F them kids.
Listen, right? That I saw this lady said, she's like, you can say that if you're actually taking care of your kids, but if there's some that say that and mean it, but no, you are taking care of your kids.
But it started at the daycare. They're calling every day, like, okay, you got to come get D'Angelo. He threw a train and hit the teacher in the head. She's bleeding. You got to come get D'Angelo. He tripped somebody. He spit on somebody. Like, he physically cannot keep his hands to himself. It's literally impossible. So, like I said, I took him to the Achievement Center. They did the evaluation. They said ADHD with something like depressed mood or something. And I mean, I believe them. I see it every day. So they gave him a behavior specialist. She comes to the school, I think 20 hours a week. And it helped out a lot. It's the insurance. It's covered by insurance.
Okay.
Instead of calling me, she's there to pull him out or do what she needs to do. And then we have like a monthly meeting.
Okay.
She tells me about, how he was over the month at school. But even that little piece of like a stress reliever, just knowing they're not calling you because there's somebody there to help.
Yeah.
I don't have him on medication. I don't believe in medication. Some children may need it, but I don't feel like he needs it. I put him in wrestling. He's so good because that's his thing. He likes to touch people and punch.
He's like, listen, he gonna be a world-class champion.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to do everything I can for them. Like I do everything I do, I think about them first and, how would it affect them?
Yeah. And I have Gianna, which thank you for that. Cause sometimes I don't know like all the terminology. She said neurodivergent awareness. So thank you for that. Yes. And that I think a lot, we see that a lot more in children, but I think we've even saw it when we were younger. It's just now our generation, it seems like we're more aware to get that help from get that support and not be ashamed to get that as support. So thank you for saying that. I want to ask though, how do you take care of yourself as a mom, as a woman? If you listen, you look like, girl, I'm still trying to figure it out.
But in the morning, honestly, when they go off to school, that's my time. A lot of people were ripping and running off to work. I don't shower until they leave. So they're off to school. Now I'm showering, flat ironing my hair. I squeeze in eyelash appointments, nail appointments.
I've been looking at your lashes too.
Thank you. They need to fill. They probably.
I don't want to know. I can be in lashes. I'd be like, okay.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just squeeze in my me time around them. My kid's dad, we do every other weekend, and twice a week. So when I know it's not my weekend, I'll try to plan something, take a trip. I love Coventina.
I still need to get out there.
You've never been there?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. So
I've done a lot of things. It's ridiculous. We don't want to talk about it. I'm like, 2024, I'm doing more. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, just even taking a day out there, right? Just turn your phone off or just put it on silent. Go get a, go get a facial, right? Go get a massage, pedicure. Just, take a day for yourself.
Self-care. Mamas need that self-care.
Definitely.
Okay. So I know, listen, it's Thanksgiving night. We actually already, listen, this goes by fast. I told you, we've been on here for 1 hour and 7 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But I do have a few questions that I always like to ask my divine guests before. Okay. And the first one is, so, Divinely Crowned is all about self-love and confidence. And you even said, like, I've always been this confident person. So what does confidence look like to you?
That's a good one. Yeah. Confidence, I would say, is not being afraid. I feel like confidence maybe is never letting them see you sweat. It's tough. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Just not giving up on yourself. Yeah. Don't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Walk in that room, even if nobody in that room looks like you. There was an event at the Calamaris the other day. One of these, the big time investors around here had posted on Facebook that he was hosting the event. I think it was $100 per person. He was only taking 10 spots. I sent my $100. I wore the most colorful dress I had in my closet.
That's right. Okay.
I walked in there with my pen and paper and, I learned a lot. But don't be afraid to show up by yourself.
Yes.
And for yourself.
Yeah.
So.
No, and I like it because you said that's a lot. But no, because I had to realize even when I was asking that question, confidence looks different to all of us. Like I used to be like, my focus with confidence was my body. And now I'm realizing that no, confidence is in layers. And so it's like even though I agree with a lot of what you said, but my look of confidence is different than yours.
Right.
But how you show up at the end of the day is how confidence. And we're still listen, I'm still learning more and more about what confidence is. So I think that was a great answer.
Thank you.
And I always like to also ask, with everything you've been through up until now, what would you tell young Dana at any past part of you? What would you tell her?
I would have told young Dana to get your real estate license at 18.
Yes.
And, I honestly, that would be pretty much the only thing, because I feel like I had to go through all that to get where I'm at today.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, that's good. Shoot. But now look at where you're at and still going.
Yes.
Period.
So my life goal here, my 5-year goal is I want to get my broker's license.
Okay.
And I want to be able to do property management. And pretty much I want to be a one-stop shop. Okay. So you come to me, you find the property, then you have me as your, I guess you would say, project manager. Now I flip the property, or I have the people to flip the property. And then now I can either Airbnb it for you, long-term rental, or we put it back on the market for sale.
Yes.
So
I love it. Well, you're going to have to come back once the 5-year goal happens and we're going to have to talk more.
Definitely.
I love it. So I always like to leave the throne, the royal mic, for anything maybe you wish I would have said, or like, oh, I was going to say this. Like, is there anything, or even promoting your service, whatever, the mic is yours.
Well, thanks for having me. You were amazing.
Thank you.
And call me for all your real estate needs.
Yes.
And I have to go back to cooking Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes. And her information is in the show notes if you're watching this on the live. And then if you're listening later, I will be in the show notes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But I always like to give my flowers. So I just want to say thank you first and foremost for your willingness to come on the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. I am truly inspired by you, and I hope more women, I'm saying women because this is, it's about us on here a lot of times.
Right.
But I do hope more women take heed to what you have to offer in your journey. Like, knowing all that you've come through and where you're at now, I think is inspiring. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I just started connecting with you, but I'm proud of you. And I can't wait to see when you accomplish this 5-year. When you said brokerage, I think of that show on Netflix. Have you seen? There's
a couple on there that I watch.
One that I watch. Is it Selling Sunsets?
Yeah. Selling Tampa, selling Sunsets. There's a few on there. So.
Yeah, girl, you gonna be on there soon one day. Okay, we're gonna speak it. But yes, thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who was in the comments, especially Gianna. I'm gonna give you a personal shout out. Okay, sis. Thank you so much, and thank you again for being on. Listen, guys, I appreciate you being on tonight. I hope that you have a great holiday with your family. Stay safe. And until next time, remember, you are divinely crowned.